30 super carry. What do you know about it and how do you feel about it? As far as some research that I was doing on the 30 super carry versus the 9mm, it said that the 30 super carry carries a harder punch than a 9mm. Now, have you seen a 30 super carry? Have you? If you look at the projectile seems to be a lot thinner. It might be the same size and length, but it seems to be, I shouldn't say a lot. It seems to be thinner than the 9mm. Now, as far as the projectile goes, the projectile looks like it's more of a slimmer, tapered projectile versus the 9mm, more rounded. Ooh, look at that sun. More rounded projectile at the top, and it looks to be a little bit taller. Now, if you don't know or if you're unsure about this, I'm going to give you a visual. But the reason why I'm here today is because I wanted to see for myself. Realizing that I do have the 9mm Shield Plus, which is chambered in 9mm, and I also have the Smith & Wesson Super Carry chambered in 30 Super Carry. And I wanted to know for myself, because it does say that because the Super Carry carries a little bit more of a bigger punch, that the recoil on it might be a little bit more impulsive than the 9mm. Now, both of these pistols have almost the identical, I'm going to say, characteristics as far as lengthwise, height, weight, and all that good stuff. So I think this comparison is going to be very, very good. Now, the 30 Super Carry is really not a popular round, so finding them or the availability on it might be a little bit harder for somebody who is interested in carrying that round, and it might be just that little bit more expensive because it's not easily come by. So with that being said, I think this is going to be a really, really good comparison. Y'all know I carry the Smith & Wesson Shield Plus, and if I can add the Super Carry to the rotation, now it's been almost a year since I've actually shot this and made that review on that pistol. So this is almost going to be like a first impression all over again. But if you want my initial first impression, you can go back and check that out because it's been a while since I've actually shot it. So I think this is going to be good. So with that being said, we are in a safe and controlled environment. We are at the gun range, and let's get this done. Let's get this done because I think my interest has been piqued on this particular round at this point. So let's head to the back of the truck and talk about it. Whew, hace frío. El camión dice que son 57. It's cold. The truck says it's 57 degrees. All right, so as we were talking, let's get straight into the round. Oh, that's so ugly. All right, let's get straight into the round. So this is the 9mm bullet with the more rounded dome-shaped projectile, as I was explaining to you just a moment ago. This is your 30 Super Carry. Well, this one is a flat, has a flat projectile. You can have 9mm and either way it goes. But if you pay attention and see, if just looking at the backside of this round, you can almost sit the 30 Super Carry inside of that 9mm casing. Now, that is the diameter. Dang, I hate these hangnails. That is the diameter of the round. But paying attention to the height of the round, the 30 Super Carry is just a little taller. Now, does that make up for the diameter difference? Who knows? But we are here to see if it carries more of a punch than the 9mm, meaning, or trying to find out if the actual recoil is a lot more impulsive than the 9mm, although the round is bigger. Now, let's do a quick clear check on both. This is the Smith & Wesson Super Carry. Had them mixed up. Smith & Wesson Super Carry, chambered in 30 Super Carry. Both of these pistols are very, very similar, as you can see. They share a lot of the same characteristics as I said, and they are pretty much identical, as you can see. Now, capacity-wise, your Smith & Wesson Shield Plus chambered in 9mm will give you 13 in the magazine plus 1 if you're comfortable with carrying 1 in the chamber. And your 30 super carry will give you 16 plus 1 if you're comfortable with carrying in the chamber. If capacity is something that means a big thing to you, and being that 30 super carry supposedly now let's get this straight. I am doing this testing for myself just to see. Now, if you're familiar with this, let me know. Yo, yeah, man, that 30 super carry ain't nothing to be messing around with. Okay, this is just a test. We are testing this out here together today. So we have about 50 rounds for each one, and we are clearly going to go through the 9mm a little faster. Well, clearly go through the super carry a little faster than we go through the 9mm because the capacity is a little bit more on the super carry. So with that being said, the only thing left to do now is what? Suit them up so we can send them downrange. And I know I have already told you, and I have to tell you again just because I have to. We are in a safe and controlled environment. We are at the gun range. We are at Immokalee Range and Gun Club, to be exact. Suit them up, yo. Let's send them downrange. All right, so we're quite familiar with the Shield Plus chamber in 9mm and how it works and what goes on. So the first thing we're going to go in with this time is the 30 super carry and send some rounds out of that. As I told you, it's been about a year since I've actually shot this pistol. So this is going to be very almost like a first time impression because it's been so long. Now this one does have night sights on it, which is just a little bit more attractive than my Shield Plus, and it is optic ready. So that is great. She feels good. The magazine does have an extension on here for that extra pinky room so that you don't have the hang off. They both come with flush magazines so that you can choose how it is that you would like to carry that pistol. All right, now y'all gotta watch. Y'all gotta watch as far as the impulse goes, and I'm gonna tell you how it feels. All right. Keep still. Okay. Not as bad as I was expecting based off of the readings. I was expecting something way out of the ballpark. Pistol is clear. Magazine is empty. Again, it's been about a year since I've shot this. So, I'm a little confused. This is almost like a first impressions all over again. I'm a little confused. But nevertheless, Shield Plus chambered in 9mm. Also has the extended magazine for your carrying pleasures. This one only has white sights on it, which is the Smith & Wesson standard white sights. And let's send these out. Pistol is clear. Magazine is empty. I don't know. Now, wait a minute. I don't want to say this shoots like a 380. But I feel like the comparison between the 380 and the super carry might have been a little bit closer. Not saying that the recoil impulse is that much more over the 9mm because it's not. But it could be just as smooth. We're going to do it again. 30 super carry. Now, I might have to bring this back with a 380 and see how I feel about that. But as far as it being a substantial difference between the two, no, I don't feel that at all. at all. Now, pistol is clear. Now, I can say it does, as I'm shooting, it does feel like it would carry a bigger punch than a 380. Yes, it doesn't have that minimum recoil as the 380 does going along, but it's not as impulsive as you would think with the 9mm. This is strangely super close. Wow. Yeah, pistol is clear. Let's do it again. Let's do it again. Now, I am noticing that the actual consistency of my shots with the 9mm, obviously it's my carry, it's a lot more consistent, and I don't have that much more movement with the steel. So could it be that that's the punch that we're talking about? Okay, so what we just shot was the Smith & Wesson Shield Plus 9mm. We are going to go back in with the Super Carry and do it again. So what we're headed to the line with now, let me just fill this magazine up right quick. So what do you see? What do you see? To me, it's super, super close, if not no difference between the two. That's for sure. That is in all honesty. All right, so now we're going in with the 30 Super Carry. The last one we just shot was the 9mm. We're going to speed up these shots just as I sped up the shots with that 9mm. Slide went forward. Means she's just ready. Dang, I'm digging my hand. Yeah. Yes, I am clearly noticing now. Okay, pistol is clear and the magazine is empty. I am noticing that the velocity of the projectile actually penetrating or making contact with the steel, it's actually moving the steel a whole lot more than my 9mm round is. As you heard, we were able to get pretty much all shots on steel with the 9mm. So it could be that the velocity of the projectile is traveling a lot faster, and it could be because it's lighter. The Super Carry is 100 grain and the 9mm is 115 grain. So we're going to check that out again and see if what it is that I'm thinking is facts. See? Pistol is clear. Got to be. Got to be. It's clearly making a lot more impacts, harder impacts than the 9mm. 30 Super Carry, we only have a few. This is not a full magazine, but let's try to get them all on steel. Okay. Damn, I'm cut my darn hand. Better. She's clear and she is empty. Magazine is empty. Now, what I am enjoying a lot are these sights on here. They are night sights. Ow, is that my fingernail? Yes, I just drove my fingernail into the palm of my hand. All right, so now we're going in with the Shield Plus chambered in 9mm. This one we do have a full magazine. As I told you, capacities were different in the two, and we have a few left over. Dead center, clear and empty for sure. Now, definitely if I want to make this super carry a carry option or add this to my rotation, I would definitely have to do a hell of a lot of practicing with it, because as you can see, the recoil impulse, meaning getting my shots back on target, is a little bit more difficult for me with the Shield Plus than it is the 9mm. My average with the 9mm seemed to be way better, probably because it's something that I practice with, something that I carry, something that I use. So it may that may have had an influence or had something to do with my accuracy being better with the 9mm. But just looking at the round at first sight, meaning looking at that super carry, you will feel like, man, that ain't nothing. That's all right. This is gonna be easy. This almost looked like a 380, but guess what? It does pack a bigger punch to it. As you saw, me trying to get back on target was a lot harder than the actual 9mm. So this is that 30 super carry. Looking at it at first sight, looks identical to my Shield Plus, but I can say that this baby right here may just knock something down a little bit harder than the 9mm. Now this is my Shield Plus chambered in 9mm. The only downfall I would say, as I was explaining to you before, the 30 super carry, because the round is a lot more difficult to come by, and because it is more difficult to come by, the pricing of it is going to be a little bit more expensive. So if you're okay with that, that's fine, but it gives you a larger capacity with a round that gives you a harder punch than the 9mm. So yes, I am convinced. I think this was a pretty successful comparison, or a experiment. We're gonna say experiment, a pretty successful experiment, because it actually proved exactly what it is that we tried to figure out, saying, is this 30 super carry a harder punch than a 9mm? Yes, I would say so. So with that being said, what did you see? What did you see? Did you evaluate, as you know, saying that yes, I really messed my darn hand up? Evaluate the two and say, I think you're right. I did notice, I did see, and just based on hearing your pings, yeah, for sure. So with that being said, Yoke Gang, listen, if you have not yet checked out www.yokegang.com, make sure that you do pick up a t-shirt or patch if you have already. Thank you so much for supporting, and thank you for supporting just by watching this video. Y'all know I love it when things work, and these two beautiful firearms work, but I love y'all for life.